This is the second generation sensation, Brian Hardy, and you are watching the greatest YouTube series of all time, Stu's Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to Stu's Wrestling Podcast. It's time for British Wrestling's sharpshooter, your host, Stu Palmer.
My guest for this special episode is Kevin Kellam. He is an AAW live backstage interviewer. He also does podcasting as a host for Sportskeeda, but he's come on primarily to promote AAW Live's Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament over 2 nights, this Friday and Saturday, and also a special Saturday afternoon attraction matinee show from the Berwyn Eagles Club Friday and Saturday, and on FITE TV at $29.99. There is a 16-person tournament including Josh Alexander. Kurt Stallion is on the card as well. Alexander Hammerstone, Mance Warner, ACH, Myron, Reed, Daniel Garcia, to name but a few in this tournament. And you can also get your tickets with $5 off with the code AAW Family. So let's get into the episode with podcast host for Sportskeeda and host of AAW for the backstage, interviewing Kevin Kellam. Enjoy. My guest today is none other than Kevin Kellam, podcast host for Sportskeeda and AAW's backstage interviewer. You wear many hats, but you're here primarily today to promote the huge weekend of action for AAW Live. So yeah, we have got obviously the Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament over 2 nights, showcasing 16 of the best in pro wrestling, which we will get into. And also there's another card on Saturday afternoon in America with the ladies as well, Hell Hath No Fury. So there's a lot going on with AAW Live, and I'm looking forward to hearing a bit more about what's coming up over the weekend.
So much, man. It's 3 shows, worldwide, available on FITE TV. I know you guys have that platform there as well. A lot of people get All Elite Wrestling on there, but you can get a lot of great independent pay-per-views. I would say if you've never experienced AAW, this is a great jumping on point, especially with this 2-night tournament that we have that has talent from WWE. ACH is going to be on this. Josh Alexander, who briefly just held the Impact World Championship, will be in the tournament as well. Mance Warner from MLW will be on this. Moriarty, who just signed with All Elite Wrestling, is going to be on this. So we also have on these shows as well, Fred Yehi, who's the AAW heavyweight champion. The winner of this tournament gets a shot at him at our show coming up called Windy City Classic. That's our big year ender. But this Lynam tournament is named after our founder, or the founder of our promotion, AAW, and he really got it going and made it into this big, big thing. For our friends in England, I know we have a lot of people in England listening. AAW, I would say, is the ICW of the United States. This is a huge launching pad for pro wrestlers. Seth Rollins came through here. Kalisto came through here. Ruby Riott came through here, started here. We're talking wrestling in 200-300 people. And the cool thing is now we get to go back to our original venue, which is the Berwyn Eagles Club. So we're going to have like some talent you're going to see in football stadiums in a couple of years, or you're going to see an arena next week, but they're going to be wrestling in front of 200 or 300 people right on top of the ring, all the action. Plus, we have that Hell Hath No Fury show, which is going to feature Eddie Kingston. If Fred Yehi can get through Friday, he will be taking on Eddie Kingston Saturday afternoon, which I think may be a little bit more of an inviting card in terms of time for our friends in England. That show is going to air at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Our other shows, both the tournament cards, are going to air Friday night and Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Incredible, just to think from tomorrow and Saturday how much content there is going to be. And also, I've seen it's $29.99 as well. And
for the whole bundle, too. And if you want to buy the shows individually, you can do that, too. So you can watch the shows any way you want.
What a price point that is for the amount of wrestling you're getting. And, across the board, I think, opening up Mance Warner versus Josh Alexander first round match. That's a dream match, if ever there was one.
What a clash of styles. Absolutely. Just a total clash of styles.
Absolutely.
I've gotten to do more work on camera with Mance Warner than most of the stars. I haven't been able to do anything with Josh, and Josh is a little bit more cool-headed. He enjoys speaking to the camera. Mance enjoys riffing it up with somebody, and I was doing a promo with him in our last show where they did away him and his tag team partner Mance Warner, Manders, who's also going to be in the tournament. They were bloodied, but they were happy because they just defeated someone, so they're all riled up for this tournament. And I'm pretty sure he got blood on my suit. And Mance didn't care that he got blood on my suit. He just walked away and he was drinking beer covered in blood. He is that type of guy. There's two different type of personalities. Josh Alexander is a wrestler's wrestler. Mance Warner is a fighting man. He is rough around the edges in every single way. Brings it to the pay window. They will lay their stuff in. The first round of this show is stacked. And this is one of those matches where I'm just like, wow, how did this get seeded this way? Because you have two guys you'd want to see go to the finals, I think are both kind of fan favorites at the same time. But as with AAW, we're like ECW. These guys are going to lay it out hard. Like this is TV 14 wrestling, and you're going to get it from both guys too.
Absolutely. And Mance Warner, one of the best promos in wrestling as a whole. MLW, that man can talk. That is not easy to do. To get yourself across, get the persona across. He's underrated. He's underrated.
As a talker, I would say absolutely. Like, and mind you, the work I get to do is almost promo driven, exclusively promo driven. I get to see the guys talk almost more than I get to see them wrestle. And Mance, without a shadow of a doubt, is one of the best talkers in the business right now. We'll talk about Eddie Kingston coming up here in a little bit too, and he's in that same vein, and he got started with AAW as well.
Absolutely. Moving on to the second match in the tournament, we've got Erez. It's his debut in the tournament against a former guest of Stu's Wrestling Podcast, Myron Reed. Had Myron Reed on earlier on in the year. Fourth appearance in the Memorial Tournament for Myron Reed. So he's a bit of a veteran in terms of tournament standing, isn't he?
Erez is coming in with a lot of lucha pedigree. He has come up with a lot of different people. Laredo Kid, Dragon Kid. The pedigree's there. So, I mean, obviously a debut in a tournament, but this guy's a high-end lucha performer. Then you have somebody who can do the high flying as much as anyone else in Myron Reed. But Myron has captured almost every title in AAW except our Grand Heavyweight Championship, our AAW Heavyweight Championship. And I think he has a lot more to prove in this tournament than he says. He's been cutting some really salacious promos saying that if you were sleeping on me after I've lost the title, if you were one of those people that thinks I'm just this guy who's like holding my spot, no, I don't intend to do that. And I think I want to say I'm going with Myron in this match, but crazier things have happened.
The young goat as well. He goes by the young goat moniker. So he's one of my ones to watch. It's a fourth appearance. I think he could be one of the standout performers out of the 16 guys initially in round one for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this isn't an easy tournament to pick. If you're a fan of like things like the G1 and New Japan Pro Wrestling, this is something that makes it fun. We have a preview. It's up as well for our email subscribers. Also, if you know anyone watching in the United States, you guys want tickets, we're selling tickets for the show as well. You can get a promo code, $5 off your ticket if you're coming up to Berwyn, Illinois in the States. Get $5 off your ticket. AAW family. If I didn't say that, I would have forgot about it. So I have my notes in front of me.
I have written that down as well, Kevin.
Thank you as well, Stu. You're flying over for the shows too.
I'd love to, but I'm going to. We got a promotion over here out of Liverpool, TNT, and we've got. The promoter Jay is doing Extreme Fields. It's like a play on a music festival known as Creamfields.
Yeah,
so we've got rock bands on one floor.
Yes.
Wrestling on another floor, not just TNT people. There's about another 5 or 6 promotions from the UK.
That's awesome, man.
And and then there's people obviously selling merch upstairs on the other floor. Another podcaster's doing some bits. So unfortunately, I am out at a show myself.
That's okay.
But I will.
That sounds like an awesome thing. I work in rock radio. I'm a DJ for 2 different rock radio stations here in town. And there's some great festivals. I know NXT did the download a few years ago. And I always thought like there should be more stuff like that. I would, you go to a rock festival, there's always like these sideshow things. I was like, pro wrestling would be the ultimate sideshow to put on a rock festival. The fact that you get to do all that on one show is really, really cool.
They go hand in hand, the music and the wrestling. We know that, don't we? Entrance.
If I wasn't covering these shows, I'd want to watch that show on a
absolutely. Now, the third match, and this guy is another standout guy, one of the best heavyweights across the globe. Now, I've got to give him his due. In MLW, he's captured gold in MLW. Underrated, in my opinion. I think he should be on a bigger scale than he is, but plenty of time for that. It's Alexander Hammerstone taking on Manders. I don't know too much about Manders.
So I can tell you plenty about Manders.
Fill us in about him.
He is the Corn Belt cowboy. He is the hard guy you see at a bar in the Midwest in the United States, and you just look at him and you know he played football. He could probably still play football now. He could probably beat up everyone in your family and probably walk away with your sister at the same time. He is that guy. Then you talk about Hammerstone, who is just a beast. I mean, he is cut out of granite. He is doing some incredible stuff in MLW, as you mentioned. There is their champion. So that's another thing worth talking about. We have champions already in this tournament. And it's a who's who. As we start to run down these names, it's going to get even crazier. And also this first round is wild because every single match is not easy to predict. This is another one where I'm saying the same thing. If Manders walks out of this with a win over Hammerstone, up until he could potentially win the tournament or get the AAW championship out of this, right? This would be the biggest win of his career so far. And I think that's a huge test already. If he gets out of this and doesn't even win the tournament, well, he beat the standing MLW champion. I mean, he beat Hammerstone, and I don't think Hammerstone's a pushover. I don't think Manders is a pushover. I know more people know Hammerstone, a little bit more familiar. I'm going to tell you, Manders is going to prove something to you. He's been tagging with people all across the world, all the big names. This is a more a test, I think, maybe for Hammerstone coming at somebody he's heard about who's coming at him harder. And Manders is a little bit more here to prove. I'm going to make the long bet. I'm going to go with Manders. I'm going with Manders.
That's bold.
I saw him take a Death Valley driver off a cherry picker 25 feet in the air. And this is when we were doing our shows in the pandemic. And he rolled with it. And he was just like, okay, all right, this hurts, but I'll have a beer after the match. And he was casual about it. And the second gear crew, man, he's going to kick it up. It's going to be something special.
Absolutely. Hammerstone, again, probably one of my favourites out of the 16. Absolutely. Moving on again, Kevin. Lee Moriarty against Ace Perry. Now, I'm not too familiar with these guys. Lee Moriarty, AA Pro and tournament debut. As with Ace Perry, it's his debut in the tournament as well. So if you could fill the viewers, listeners in about those two guys as well.
Lee Moriarty is coming in with a lot of hype on him. He's had a lot of high-profile matches, recently signed with All Elite Wrestling. But thankfully, this is a commitment he can make and still do as an All Elite wrestler. We also are going to have Eddie Kingston on these cards as well. And it's interesting to be able to have those guys who are already on that big national television platform. And then they come into this, and there is this sense of, well, are they still dialed into that gritty underground wrestling vibe that AAW provides? You've seen that before, too. Are they going to lose their edge? I don't know if Moriarty's going to do that because he's going to take on a pretty outlandish guy. Ace Perry is outlandish in the biggest way possible. He is a guy who could take the beating of his life, get squashed in a match, and still think he won somehow because, his hair looks good. And that's the type of guy that Ace is. And he's the number one cheerleader for Ace Perry is Ace Perry. And we'll see if that act can somehow get past Moriarty. Something makes me think that it's Moriarty's match to win. Just my case. I don't know. If Ace sees this, Ace, I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest with you, buddy.
I'm in the loop now. That was well surmised about those two guys. Yeah, I'll be honest. If I don't know somebody,
sure,
I'm pretty decent. I'm pretty decent with who I know and who I don't know. But
if these are guys you've heard about but you haven't seen, this is a great jumping on point. If you're waning on what's going on some other shows you're watching, and you just want to jump into something, this is the perfect show to do it.
Perfect. Into match 5. Now a well-known name across the globe of wrestling. It's ACH. Like the young goat, Myron Reed, it's his 4th appearance in the Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament. And he takes on David Vega. I'm not too familiar with David Vega. So here again, Kevin. Absolutely.
Fill you in. David Vega, one of the vets of AAW, former AAW tag team champion. Him and his tag team partner Matt Fitchett, who's also in this tournament. Fitchett has had some big hits here recently with All Elite Wrestling. David Vega coming off of an injury himself. He has a new manager, Johnny Bravo. You may have seen him on Impact, and Johnny Bravo's got his ear. I don't know what type of mindset Vega has right now, but you have ACH, who is always determined. I've never seen him in a match where he isn't determined. Despite all the other things you may think you know about ACH and that you've read on the internet, he is always determined. He is always dialed in. The bell rings, he's ready to go. go ACH, right? People chant it, and he is the go machine. I've seen him have more outstanding matches than most people, and I think there's something to be said for what happens with Vega. If Vega doesn't win this, is having a manager like Johnny Bravo a good idea? Because, I don't want to say he's been on a skid, but, like, I don't know. Something makes me think maybe this is the point for Vega to figure out his own path and not, have someone in his ear all the time.
That's cool. So, yeah, and match six. Daniel Garcia. Now, I'm right in thinking it's AEW's Daniel Garcia, aren't I?
You are correct.
I'm on the button. He's had some big matches. He's had CM Punk as well, as we know, in more recent times. Against Thomas Shire, both men. It's the debut in the tournament for both guys. But, Daniel Garcia has been in with a caliber of guy, as we know, on AEW. So where are we going with this one? What are your thoughts and feelings on this match?
I'm a fan of Thomas Shire. I've spent some time with him backstage. A very humble big man who is a throwback to 1970s big men, 80s men, like a big John Studd, if you will, a Dan Severn, if you will. But you cannot deny the limb manipulation, the technical acumen of one Daniel Garcia. He recently has beaten some of the best technical wrestlers in the world. And technique sometimes can beat personality for the most part when it's truly on point. Daniel Garcia has been on point. You've seen him have some huge moments on All Elite Wrestling, and I think he's not going to get blurred out by the lights of the big time coming into the intimate grittiness that is the Berwyn Eagles Club. $1 beers and fans chanting outrageous things at him on top of the ring. Garcia is going to be stone cold. Garcia is the guy to beat. I think Garcia is one of the sleeper guys in this tournament too.
Absolutely. Lot of respect for him and what he's been up to. And moving on to match 7, Jake Something, second appearance in the tournament against Matt Fitchett, a man you spoke about just previously, his third appearance. So another big match for match 7 of the tournament.
Another hard pick. Fitchett had some big hits recently and performed at AEW's big Last Dance show at the United Center in front of 22,000 people, and was still ready to go when I saw him at recent AEW events. It did have a hard go of it at a most recent show. I understand there was some possible injury, but I don't know how distinct this. You don't want an injury going into a tournament. You can get an injury in a tournament and maybe figure it out while you're doing it, but you don't want one going into it. As far as I know, Fitchett is ready to go, so he wouldn't be on this card if he wasn't. Jake Something, though, that guy's been in Impact. He's been in there with some of the big dogs in Impact Wrestling. Cameras on him, don't rattle him. This guy has a chest wider than a tank, and he can move faster than a Ferrari. I'm thinking. I want to say. If there's a chance that Fitchett and his former tag team partner, his former besties in the world tag team partner, David Vega and him can face each other, that would be compelling. That's a story I would want to see play out, right? Former tag team partners now fighting each other in a tournament and going for something as individuals as when they used to be a team. That would be intriguing to me. But then I also at the same time think Jake Something is due. He is due for some big moments in AEW. He's had some shots at the world title, our world title, our AEW heavyweight championship. But I don't know. I think there's something compelling about Fitchett and Vega facing each other.
Absolutely. Could be new narrative there with the tag team guys as well. We got some new stories, which is always
great. Give me a good story. Give me a good story, baby.
It's not just about the moves, is it? It's if you can tell that story in between them ropes. Mad respect for these guys, what they do. Incredible. And the final match, I would be remiss to leave this one out as well. I'm presuming he's called Shaf.
Yes.
Shaf, yeah.
The baddest MFer in professional wrestling, self-proclaimed. I mentioned a big boy that Jake Something is. Shaf, also a very big boy. Also a very, very big boy. He is a huge gentleman, very intense. We have a lot of beef. Now, a lot of people say about independent wrestling, the guys are small. We have a lot of beef in this tournament. There's a lot of big boys in here. A lot of people who would be very okay wrestling a bear, I would say. We have a lot of potential bear wrestlers on this card.
Absolutely. Against Hakeem, Zane. So there again, Kevin, where do you see this one going? What could potentially happen in this bout?
Hakeem Zane, you'll be familiar with him as Rohit Raju from Impact Wrestling. And obviously in AEW, when he's under the Hakeem Zane moniker, he isn't any less manipulative or cunning in what he does. But he's no fan favorite. He's no fan favorite here. Shaf has no problem when the fans say kick someone's ass, kicking someone's ass. And Hakeem Zane has no problem making the fans angry when he says he's going to make the fans angry. So I'm more inclined to want to see Shaft decimate this man. But, Zane has been Heritage Champion. He's been all these different things, and he's been able to do it because he's got this up here. He's always got maybe a couple moves ahead. I don't want Shaft to hear this. I hope Shaft doesn't see this, but something makes me think that Zane gets ahead of him. I don't know why. You don't get to see everyone you like advance, so I kind of have to take my bet on who's going to be the one I don't like. I'm being objective as a broadcast journalist, but now I speak to you as a fan. That I would I'm thinking something's going on with Zane. He's got some game plan. He's got something to make himself scamper through this whole thing and then run through the legs of the stallion while he's on the ground.
I like how you're willing to stick your neck out here for this tournament.
Well, the thing is, I got to go to this show, and they're going to hear what I say, right? And they're going to be like, I heard what you said, Kev. You said I'm not winning this match, and I have to deal with that.
Absolutely.
Also, all these matches going down Friday night. The matches we're running down here, these are all night one, and then night two will be the rest of the tournament. So you're going to see multiple matches here.
Fantastic. Yeah. What a great tournament, top to bottom. And also, Fred Yehi will defend the AAW Heavyweight Championship on the card. We've got Gringo Loco. A lot of people will be familiar with him from MLW. And frontman Jar Z on there as well. And also a live taping from 7 p.m. Storm Grayson versus Trevor Outlaw as well. Can't leave these guys out. It's not just the tournament, is it?
No, we have a lot of young talent that comes to us as well. That's what we're doing with the AAW live show. That's been our web series that we launched during the pandemic. And that allowed us to kind of figure out how to keep going through the pandemic and even doing shows with limited audiences. I think at one point we were doing shows with 25 fans. And then as things got safer, we went up to like 50. And then we scaled back for the winter. And then we came back. So, I mean, it's been a very challenging time. Obviously, I know things in Europe are completely different. But for us here in the States, it's still been challenging. It's still been a hard thing to be able to put these shows on. And we have a great team at AAW. There isn't just like one or two people. We have a full-fledged production. When you come to our shows, we have screens. We have when you watch our shows on pay-per-view, it's going to feel like you're watching almost a larger scale production of an independent wrestling show, and it's going to feel like a TV show. You'll see promos, you'll see interviews. You can pick up the show and not know what's going on, but know what's going on once you watch it. That's my one thing with independent wrestling. You watch a show, you don't know why people are having matches or something like that. The show just kind of happens, which is fine. Some people just have that. That's what it is. We take a different approach and want it to be as hardcore as independent wrestling can be. That's why we're the best at it. Then we also want to do a production element that makes it slick and flows through, and anyone can pick up the show, and anyone on the couch with you who isn't a wrestling fan wouldn't be lost on what's going on. They don't have to know the stars. They just know they're seeing stars. So, and I think that's what we're doing the best at. We have great producers, great commentary. Joe Dombrowski, Tyler Vowles will be on the play-by-play. And I'll be watching it backstage with everybody else and cutting the promos and all that fun stuff. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a long couple of days. I got 3 shows in 2 days. And then we also have, Saturday afternoon, the matinee that's going to be pretty wild.
Absolutely. Where's my boy Rico De La Vega and La Sociedad for Rico? I want to know, where's my boy? Is he going to be on? I'm a big fan. of that man.
Rico will be on the show. And I know you're friends with Rico.
Absolutely, I am.
But I can tell you, as someone who works backstage, I have to maintain all of my composure when speaking to the combatants. That Axel and Rico are, I would describe as less than professional in their candor with me. They've made fun of my hair. They've made my lack thereof. They've made fun of my suit or suits. All right. They've said that I only have one suit, which is not accurate. And they've been very, very mean to me. And I am not saying in this Fans Bring the Weapons match that you can check out on Hell Hath No Fury. That's our Saturday matinee show away from the tournament. I'm not saying that I'm going to bring any violent, blunt instruments that I can find in my own home to the Berwyn Eagles Club, like any fan coming to the show can do. Did you know that any fan can bring a weapon? That is literal. That isn't just, fans bring the weapon, but we're just handing them out to give to the wrestlers. No. Fans can bring the weapon. We mean that. Toilet seats have been used, all right? Adult items that I cannot describe for possible younger ears have been used to battle opponents in an AEW Fans Bring the Weapons match. Dare I say, I think we do it better than anyone else. And I'm not saying that I'm going to reach into my closet and grab something, but maybe you can if you know someone. If you have a kitchen sink lying around, you can bring your kitchen sink to the Berwyn Eagles Club, and it will find its way into the ring. And Christmas trees, video game controllers, it's all been used in a Fans Bring the Weapons match. I'm rooting for Sky Blue and Christy Janes, who are taking on La Sociedad Boricua. I'm saying that independently. But I'm also saying, as an interviewer, I'm also rooting for them. I don't mind. My bias is presented. I don't mind. I've dealt with these gentlemen a little bit too much.
The possibilities are endless in terms of weaponry that could show up in Berwyn. So just when you think everything's been brought to a show, I'm sure we will see something very new that we haven't seen before at a weapons match, Kevin.
Yeah, if you love your crazy over-the-top stuff, this is where you're going to get it. You're gonna get something out there and weird, and we have no problem doing that as well. We have every slice of the pie. It's a buffet of violence. We're going to have all of it for you.
Hell hath no fury. We've also got Kylie Ray, a standout performer in women's
Kylie
wrestling.
Ray, unfortunately, Kylie Ray cannot perform in the show due to medical reasons.
Right,
so we did have to make some changes. We're rooting for her. We have her back and everything like that, and she'll come back when she's ready to go. Allison Kay will be in action against Nicole Savoy.
Fantastic
Allison Kay,
talent.
you saw her perform on Impact Wrestling for years. She came back recently, also did some stuff with Ring of Honor. We can talk about what's going on with them. And she's super dialed in. Allison's on a real ride recently. She took the belt off Chris Statlander. You've seen in All Elite Wrestling. And she's been a real ride, lot to prove. Even though she has the title, on her shoulder, it seems like she still has a chip on the other shoulder. Like, hey, I don't have this just because I want it. I have this because you said I could never have this. So now I'm going to prove that I was supposed to have it. And she's been feeling that way for quite some time. And I feel bad for Miss Savoy, who's going to be in the ring with her with that attitude.
Ladies wrestling, fantastic. The level of performance now. Just when you think you've seen it all, I'm sure we're going to see some new stuff definitely. And I'm a big fan of Allison Kay as well. I do respect the woman. So
AK don't play. AK don't play. Pinky's up, dude. Pinky's up. Yeah.
So if you can get to Berwyn, Illinois, if you can get to the show, fantastic, and you get your $5 off per ticket with the code as well, as we've said, AAW family. But yeah, FITE TV, what a fantastic platform as well, Kevin. Worldwide now, incredible. So yeah, what a two-day feast we're going to have.
And also, just thank you to FITE for giving us the platform to reach fans. You can also get our shows on High Spots. We have our own on-demand library that you can subscribe to as well, called AAW On Demand. It's all at our website, aawpro.com. And it's AA. I know a lot of people say AE. That happens a lot, but it's no, don't worry. I'll be cutting promos backstage and I'll make the same mistake. And they're like, we got to do another take. So I was like, all right, yeah. But yeah, so it's a really, really fun weekend. It's really, if you know anyone in the States, and send them in our direction, they're going to have a great night with us. Halloween weekend, this is the perfect pregame to any Halloween stuff you're doing. If you're like, oh, I'm going out Saturday night, Friday night, join us. If I'm going out Saturday night, join us Saturday afternoon. Even if you're just going to want to watch these shows, you can get them each individually, or as we mentioned, we have that $30 bundle. You get all three shows. So you're looking at like over 6, 7, 8 hours minimum in 3 days, and you get the whole tournament. And if you can't watch it live, you get the replays as well. On demand. And just thank you for letting me talk about it, especially the fans in the UK. And we know you guys are hungry for wrestling. We know you're waiting for that big WWE stadium show to be announced and all these different things. It's, from what I know, that's coming. They've took a backward step, because when they spoke to Triple H a year, 18 months ago, and SummerSlam was getting bandied around to be on, they're now looking. I think they're looking at what AEW are going to do, where we're going to get this big stadium show and big tour. They've backtracked. They've backtracked. They're looking now at that UK show. Which how much business do you think WWE would do? I mean, they did this loop recently. A month or two ago. And those shows did well, and those were not televised. I believe they did. I think maybe one TV taping when they were out there. But they did really well, and I got to talk to Drew McIntyre for Sportskeeda right after that. Brilliant. And he professed that, I want to do this major event. I'm emphatic about doing it. It's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. He emphasized something with the SummerSlam anniversary, but they've already announced SummerSlam will be in the United States this year in Nashville, Tennessee, coming up 2022. But there is time frame for them to do something in September. which has no designation. Some people would think that would be the long anticipated UK stadium show from WWE, which I think is the way they should go.
And they're back again next month. That they're touring again in November here. So they're back again. They're back again.
And they just announced some NXT talent's going to be on that tour. Tommaso Ciampa, Braun Breaker, and Sami Zayn are going to be working triple threats on that tour. That just came out today.
Fantastic. No, good keeping us up to date there, Kevin. I appreciate that because I didn't know that.
Problem.
So thank you, fella. Absolutely brilliant. Now, obviously, we're going to talk. There's been a lot of news with Ring of Honor. Sad news, actually, Ring of Honor, because it's been a staple for us since 2002. You know, I know it's changed hands. You know, broadcasters have changed. You look at it, it was like, the darling, of that level of wrestling, wasn't it, for so many years? So many guys came through and then went on to the bigger companies. But quite sad news, mate, on Ring of Honor, isn't it?
Very, very sad. They announced basically everyone that's under contract right now with the company, and they are a contracted company. There's some confusion about that. Oh, are they a per date company? They were for a long, long time. In the past few years, they're owned by a major television company called Sinclair Broadcasting Group, which owns a lot of syndicated TV stations. I wouldn't call them like a network. They're a network of TV, but they're not like an ABC or an NBC that you guys hear about in the UK. They own a lot of medium market television. And it's a big company. And Sinclair has them, and Sinclair has kept them going and does pay-per-views with them and has a lot of talent there. But the major issue with them is there was a huge exodus of talent from All Elite Wrestling a few years ago when the Elite left them and the Bullet Club left them. And they still maintained a relationship with New Japan, but it wasn't the same thing because you didn't have those talents that want to go back and forth. I mean, you're talking about a Ring of Honor show that were drawing they played Madison Square Garden a few years ago, and they weren't WWE. They did that with New Japan, but they played Madison Square Garden and sold it out, and this is a major promotion that has launched the careers of almost every major wrestler that you see on television right now across the board has come up in the last 5-6 years. I'm not talking like your Randy Orton's, your Cena's. I'm talking your CM Punks, your Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles, you name them, Samoa Joe. They've all been through there. And it's been that promotion that filled that gap. Then NXT kind of came in a few years ago, and that kind of took some of them. And there was some talent that you would see that would work, Ring of Honor, and they would still get big indie dates, and they would have like set deals, date deals, and stuff like that. Now Ring of Honor wants to get competitive, and they lock people into long-term contracts that have exclusivity in them. And you had some guys from the UK that were working with them as well. And you still had the Briscoes there, still had some core players. They still had Jay Lethal. And during the pandemic, they did shows with no fans. They did shows with heavy testing. They were one of the first major promotions to do quarantining and testing and employ those things slightly before WWE and AEW did, as far as I know. I'm not, quoting anyone on that. And I got to talk to Ian Riccaboni, and he was super pumped about how they handled things. And he said they were super, super safe, and they kept people employed when they weren't doing live shows with fans. They kept people under contract and paid people. They didn't lay anyone off. So getting to this point is worrisome. I think there's no way, I'm not spinning this or anything, it's worrisome that everyone under contract with this promotion is going to work the final battle pay-per-view at the end of the year. And then they're all let go. Bandito, who is the amassed, very elusive Ring of Honor World Champion, he's already announced for 3 GCW shows. Everyone that's under Ring of Honor contract is now free to work anywhere outside of the company. And you have some big names there. Danhausen, who's very popular on the internet. He just did the Jericho Cruise. The Briscoes just won those GCW titles. So you have a lot of talent there. There's a lot of talent there that people are going to want.
I tell you who I've rated for many years. I know we got the world title. We beat Cody 2017. Now, it doesn't seem that long ago. Mr. Dalton Castle, one of my that guy, the whole aura, the promos, he can wrestle, fantastic. I think would he get lost in the shuffle at WWE? I don't think WWE have ever had anyone like him. I think
there's some guys, and then everyone's going to say, a lot of these guys are going to go over to All Elite and this. I don't know if All Elite has the bandwidth for a lot of this.
No.
Some of them will. Some of them will. And then also, it's worth noting, Ring of Honor isn't like shutting down. Their statement says we're releasing everyone from their contract, we're reorganizing the company, and we're coming back in April, which means you're going to see them around the time of WrestleMania. My assumption is that they would have a show WrestleMania weekend, though they haven't confirmed that, but they want to come back in the spring. So I think there's going to be some talent that stays. I don't know if they're going to do contracts the same way they did before. I think that's a major reason for this. Maybe it was a cost-cutting measure, but you're shutting down the whole promotion. That's really drastic. It's really, really drastic. And whether that was a Sinclair call or an internal call with their own management within the company isn't really clear. But it's just worrisome, because you have a lot of talent here who, mind you, some of them are ready to go. Manny Leon has been with them for years, posted a picture of a bird flying out of a cage. So maybe her thing is, I've been here too long and I want to do something else. And you have other talent there. There's other people who've been critical of them. Bully Ray was with them for years, and he's been critical of how they handled him and some other people in the company. But then you also have, the biggest thing in the company, the biggest act in the company left and got big money contracts with Tony Khan and got the TV deal on TNT. And mind you, Ring of Honor is owned by a television company, but it's on at different times all over the country. You don't get it at a set time on a set night. So I think that's been an issue. It's been a hard issue for fans to kind of because you have this rhythm of I watch Raw on this night, and even if you're a hardcore fan, but it's worth arguing they were drawing right up until the pandemic happened. They were drawing good crowds. They were drawing 1,200-1,300 people. For an indie,
Segueing into AEW, how many more names can they possibly sign? The roster's chopped to bits, Kevin. They can't physically showcase people. Brian Cage has got lost a little bit. People. What a great talent he is. They can't physically keep adding and adding. I don't think the roster's going to get too big. I understood they needed to go in for people initially to build the roster, and there's Dark, there's Elevation. Alongside Dynamite.
Industry leverage. They wanted to leverage people to want to come to them. Yeah.
Surely that roster's got enough people now. They can't keep cherry picking.
And also, it's not like you're going to put any less time into the developed stars that you have. The core talent you have is now there's a whole other core on top of it. The original 4 or 5 guys, 6, 7 guys you could build this company around were the Bucks, Cody, Jericho. That's 4 or 5 people, Hangman. You had the Elite, basically. All those guys were all there, right? And then you throw in now you have Danielson is going to be there. You have Punk. They're huge moves, right? You have Adam Cole. That's a lot of talent that comes in. Then you think of all the women they have too. Mm-hmm. So that's been a struggle for them. It's been hot and cold in terms of their presentation of the women. And are they really into it? Are they not? And now they have Thunder Rosa. So they have a lot of people. I just don't know if them bringing in a bunch of new talent right now is the thing for them to do. They have AEW Dark. It is a strong platform. It is pretty big. But a lot of people come there, work a handful of matches, and sometimes, like a Matt Cardona, don't, figure into the long slotted plans for this. And I think that's kind of okay, because you have people that kind of float in and out with it, and I'm okay with that. Jeff Cobb, who's big in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Tour
of the Islands, right? Absolutely. Love playing with him in Retromania, the Retromania video game. He's my favorite. But no, it's just, to me, they got too much going on, and that isn't really a critique of them. It's just circumstantial. I wouldn't want someone to go there who could be a world champion and isn't going to get the spotlight to do that. Absolutely. Just when you put it that way, that's what's going on with Brian Cage. Brian Cage got some shots. They did some stuff with him, but then they brought in a bunch of other big names, and now you're going to see a lot more Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, and that's what fans want, though, too. So are you going to tell people no because you got a talent that you have to develop when you have your A show that you got to feature your A talent on? Or are you going to tell somebody like Brian Cage, hey, let's put you on Dark all the time? I don't know. It's a hard thing to do.
Absolutely. Now, I think we've got to speak about WWE, specifically Crown Jewel. There was quite a good, amount of positive stuff about it going off the back of previous shows in Saudi Arabia. What were your thoughts on Crown Jewel from your personal perspective, fan perspective?
You can check out our review. It's up on our YouTube channel, our podcast channel as well, and I went in depth on it. I thought this was the best show that WWE presented in Saudi Arabia. And the Saudi Arabia shows have this socio-political specter over them with everything with the government and how those shows are handled and why is WWE doing this. It's simply too much of a thing for WWE not to do at this point, despite all those other things that they didn't sign up for. They signed a deal to do shows. So that's part of it too. You don't want any more people to lose their jobs. They're going to keep doing these shows. So I think when you tell people that, like, oh, okay. But I also thought, you know, the fun thing is they presented women's matches on the show, 2 of them. And it is different to see the women, you know, their outfits are changed and different things like that. But those matches were presented as serious. And it was, but it also wasn't like, this is such a big deal. No, we've done it the first time before. Now we're allowed to do it again. And that shows a little bit more of WWE earning the trust of their partner in the kingdom to be able to do that. Also, I liked that, you know, there's some critiques that, some of the elite people in the country and the government and all these different things, the socialites those are the people that got to sit close the first few shows. You looked at the crowd at this show, they were all hardcore fans with shirts on and chants. And also they're not jaded. Like here in the United States, we're kind of jaded. They were into everything. This crowd was into everything that happened in the show. There was not, I wouldn't say a bad match in the show. There's some matches that were certainly better than others, but there's some really, really outstanding good stuff with this. WWE pulled the trigger with Xavier Woods and made him the king of the ring. It's something fans wanted. They did it. They did it the right way. It made sense. Goldberg got to have a fun bang match with Bobby Lashley, which played to his pace and didn't have him do anything he can't do and had him do everything he can do really, really well. So I like when they take a special attraction that has limitations, but makes them attractive, right? And it was just some wild stuff with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And some people thought Brock should have got the belt off of him, but that's to come.
We knew full well Reigns was retaining.
Yeah.
So who possibly? Can we get the Rock? Can we get the Rock back? Can we get him back to have the cousins collide? Sibling rivalry. Rivalry, Kevin.
It writes itself to have Roman Reigns, the hottest villain in wrestling, and all of wrestling. That'll be my hot take here. He is a hotter villain than anyone in All Elite or Impact or New Japan right now in terms of the electricity he gets from a crowd with what he can do. And put it this way, they did SmackDown on network television. All right, and they opened with a 36-minute promo, 36 minutes on television. But it worked because Brock's wrecking the ring and Roman's getting the heat and all these different things. And years ago, people were so tired of Roman and Brock and they were so over it. And you're telling us that Roman's supposed to be our babyface and we don't like it. Now it's a completely mixed up thing and people love Brock and Roman and they can't get enough of Brock and Roman. And this will be, I think Brock and Roman is going to be what you get at WrestleMania this year coming up in Dallas. But there was some talk of The Rock having some role at this year's WrestleMania. There is some talk of Rock having some role at this year's Survivor Series coming up in New York City at the Barclays. That would be the 25th anniversary of his debut in WWE at the Survivor Series as Rocky Maivia. Whether or not he'll be there physically, there's going to be some type of acknowledgement. Maybe you can plant the seed there. You're getting a Roman Reigns Rock WrestleMania match. I just don't know if you're getting it in 2022. I'm more inclined to think that you get it in Los Angeles in 2023.
It mirrors 2011, how they did the build for him and Cena, as you say.
Yeah, you can do it. You can start it. You can start it at one Mania and get to another. You could start it a little bit earlier than that and have it kind of hang over everything. The WWE's been spinning some plates with multiple storylines with Roman for a little while. That would be kind of cool. If Rock has a role at WrestleMania this year, I don't know if it's him in a match. I think it's maybe him in some other type of role. And then you build to him in Roman next year or 2023.
It's got the old school vibe about it, you know. Like I've been watching since 1990 here in the UK. I want a long build. Sometimes it's too, you know, it's too. Well, they don't give him enough. They don't give him enough
that's
time.
That's media, though. I mean, the way we get our media is completely different.
Yeah,
there's so much more WWE to watch. There's a 3-hour show every week. They could cut a whole pay-per-view promo, beginning to end, middle program, like storyline in 3 hours if they wanted to. And some fans who are younger, who are in their teens and 20s, would be okay with that. People like you and I have been watching since no, there's only 4 pay-per-views a year. That's still in our heads. We're still like, that's the way the story is done. It has to be drawn out. And for younger fans, that isn't the case. They want the payoffs a little bit sooner. They want the pages to turn a little bit quicker.
It's changed. It's changed with the times. Absolutely. Kevin, we'll go back to AAW Live. Let's give a plug for the free shows available on FITE TV. If you're in the vicinity of Illinois, if you're over in the States, head to Berwyn Eagles Club. I'll get my words out there. I got a bit tongue-tied. Go to the show in person if you can. $5 off as well, which is a fantastic incentive. But $30 on FITE TV for the world audience too. So, yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead and check it out. You can follow us on all the different social medias. Look us up on Twitter at AAWpro.com. Links with the promo code there as well, AAW Family. You can use it if you're buying tickets. The bundle, $30 for all 3 shows on FITE TV, and you're going to get well over, I think we're going to do at least 3 hours on Friday. Some of these shows, FITE's giving us a lot of luxury with that as well. Plus for our fans, maybe you want to watch something a little bit more with your weekend plans in the UK. Join us at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday. That could be early Saturday night for you guys. Pre-game with that, then go hit the pub right afterwards. You'll have a great time. Hell Hath No Theory on Saturday afternoon. The tournament Friday and Saturday night. All the info on FITE TV. That's FITE.TV. Same type of app you order the big fights on and all the different stuff. We're going to be on there as well.
Thank you, Kevin Kellam, podcast host for Sportskeeda. Yeah, so obviously we can find you there as well. And AAW backstage interview as well. I'm sure you are very excited for Friday and Saturday.
I am. I wear dress shoes when I do these shows, but I think I'm going to get my steps in a lot. So I think I may just wear the soft shoes. If I have to do an in-ring promo, I'll wear the dress shoes, but I'm going to wear the tennis shoes, even though I have the suit on. It'll look silly, but if we shoot from here up, I'll be okay. Stu, thank you so much. I've been able to talk to a lot of great UK wrestling fans. My friends down in Bournemouth at Ministry of Slam, I've been able to talk to those guys. A lot of good lads, family in Ireland as well. It's always fun to talk to fans. It's an international language, it's an international language wrestling, and I'm so thankful you gave us the platform.
What an exciting time for any pro wrestling fan. That's all I've got to say. Everything's coming back internationally. Let's go, baby. So, yeah, man, this is what we wanted.
Get your jab, take your test, wear your mask. Let's go. Let's be safe. Let's do it. Let's have a fun time.
Thank you for coming on Stu's Wrestling Podcast, Kevin, and I will speak to you in due course. And this will be out pretty much right after this.
Cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, dude.
A big thank you to Powered 4 TV for putting the episodes up on the on-demand service there. Big thank you to John Scott and Rich Crowhurst for all the support. Really appreciate it week in, week out. Nothing's ever a problem. Also, we're doing Powered 4 TV Big Fight Weekly, the MMA and boxing show with my cousin Rich and John. I've put on these first. It's been fantastic with that. Thank you to Chris Dutton, again, as always, for the superb editing. I couldn't do this without him. And fantastic job once again. Thank you to Mike Angus for the intro, as always, to the show. You can find the Stu's Wrestling Podcast merch at WrestleMerchCentral.com. There is loads of stuff, lots of different items that you can get. Mugs, hats, face coverings, t-shirts, hoodies, even the new varsity jacket with embroidered Stu's Wrestling Podcast logo on it. Big thank you once again to Dean and the team for listing my products on there. Great work, and we will see you soon for the next episode of Stu's Wrestling Podcast.